Okay, this is the OK Show on a Friday, and we are talking about Olympics. Dope or nope? What's up? What's up? My name is Iceman.
Rod Rodriguez.
And right, we're back. It's gonna be a quick one. It's gonna be a short one compared to our previous episodes. And we're talking about Olympics. It's happening right now as we speak. The opening.
I don't see anything. Is there our cams on?
I don't. My wife's watching it downstairs. I mean, at least
still-
she's trying to
it's-
watch it.
It still says starting soon. But I can hear our voices, but
Oh, okay. I thought
There's no
thought you were talking
video.
about the Olympics. Hang on.
No,
There you
There
go.
you go.
See,
Okay.
we haven't
See,
done this in a long time.
It's a long time, like Monday. That's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Dude, that's a long
like
time.
what?
When-
It is a long
when-
time.
When we were doing radio, it was like, like every day.
It was
Yeah,
every day.
it's every day. So if
I was
there's
working
like
Sundays.
like a two-day layoff. That would be like really long. That would be like equivalent to 2 months.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, 2 days.
Absolutely.
Crap. All right,
It's
okay.
that kind of day. It's that kind of day because my AirPods, it was kind of like glitching on me while I was trying to hook up to the MacBook. And then now you forgot to turn on the thing. And then we weren't even sure if we are going to pull off with the show today because yesterday Iceman was out of town and he was kind of like, he wasn't sure if he was going to make it. So we didn't have a show last Thursday. So, we're just like I said, we're kind of adapting.
I'm still recovering from that trip.
Yeah, that's like it's not jet lag because you were on the road the whole time, but it's trip lag, sort of. I mean, it's not like it's a different time zone, but you do get that. I do get that. Like if I've been traveling the whole
200
day,
kilometers
Oh my
one
God,
way.
yeah, that's
200
far.
kilometers plus.
so that's like almost 500 back and forth, right?
About, yeah, because
Yeah.
when we got to our destination, you have to drive around too.
Of
in
course,
that
of course.
particular place.
Wow.
So we went to
Wow, that's
Toyama
like,
Prefecture, which is about 3 hour 3 hour drive from Gifu. So it's kind of
Wow.
far. Then when
That
you
is
get there, you
far.
have to
That is
look
far.
for the museums. Then we went to like 3 museums there. We went to a science museum. We went to a glass museum. Then we went to a Doraemon sort of park. It's like a themed national park. Like a Doraemon themed
Nice.
national park.
Nice. I used to watch
I'm
Doraemon,
tired.
not on purpose. Like it would be one of those shows that would be on TV at a time, and I was like getting ready for something. I think this was college days, but anyways, so hopefully you've been rested, and we are doing this episode tomorrow. We're also gonna have our Saturday episode. Hopefully we can do that with Pinky. Pinky has been busy, so our episodes this week has been kind of like probably causing confusion to people because last Monday's episode that was uploaded much later. It was recorded. We were planning to just record this, but we're not editing it anyways. So the new format, if you guys missed out on it, what's kind of like the new experimental format, Ice, if you can explain it?
It's like a he said, right? Because it's not he said, she said. So it's he said, he said.
Yeah.
So we're trying to like keep it short and simple. Stick to the topic because we've been
Yeah.
like straying and drifting away all the time. So we're trying out a new thing. Right. So I don't know. Like now we're doing it again, drifting away, but well, let's get on with it. Olympics, dope or
Yeah.
nope? What do you think?
Oh man. I see both sides of the coin. I mean, I don't want to be the bad guy here and say that the Olympics is pointless already, but it's sort of the Olympics has always been an event, and it's always been kind of like for those that have been getting the medals and been dominating the Olympics in terms of their medal haul during the once in every 4 year. It's once every 4 years or 6 years. 4 years, right?
4 years.
4 year. Okay.
Yes.
And
4
World Cup
years.
is also what? World Cup is what? 3 years?
I think 4 years. I think 4
4 years also? Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that confused. But anyways, yeah. So it's kind of like for those countries that have been dominating, like China, Russia, the United States, the big countries. They just kind of want to maintain their dominance. And for little countries like ourselves and maybe all the other micro countries out there trying to compete, a lot of us are still aiming for a first gold. And I don't, like I said, they're introducing new events. Like I think skateboarding is now an Olympic sport. So, or at least a variation of skateboarding. and whatever else is out there, but billiards still not. So until they enter billiards and make it an official Olympic sport, I don't think the Philippines is going to get their gold anytime soon. So what's the point of the Olympics? Well, I think a lot of us can agree that it's no longer sort of like the measuring stick of the best athletes on the planet. Yeah, they've allowed professional athletes like NBA players enter the Olympics and compete because the United States have been getting their butt kicked by other countries if they were just allowed to play their collegiate players or amateur players. But if it's the best athletes in the world, then why is it Pacquiao in there? Why, how come Mayweather wasn't fighting, when he was a professional already? So basically, there are the amateur rules, and when you say amateur, that doesn't really refer to the best or top of their game. So you kind of wonder what the point is, because I'm not sure if initially when the Olympics was created, it was a test of the best athletes, and the countries were sort of trying to dominate each other based on how dominant their performances would be in certain athletic activities. So right now, I don't know if the kids are still into it. I don't know if people really follow it. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really watch the Olympics anymore. Maybe it's just me, but I do know that there is an Olympic committee, and I do know that it is a big deal, and I do know that countries prepare to host this once every 4 year, how many year event. But I've just kind of lost touch because I do follow sports. I love sports. I'm not very athletic myself, but the Olympics has sort of been just like, okay, how many medals do we get? Like, you don't even care anymore if it's synchronized swimming or whatever the event is, or who the athletes may be. And it's kind of unfair for the participants to not get their dues because they do invest a lot. But there are countries, unfortunately, that just don't, set aside the proper budget for athletics. And it's just not the kind of, career path for most kids, maybe in that said country or region, to follow through to have a prosperous, financially beneficial career. So unlike in the US where you have kids in Pee Wee League or in Little League Baseball going, I'm going to be the next Mike Trout. I'm going to be the next Michael Jordan or LeBron James. I'm going to make myself millions. And, there's a high chance that it'll happen. I mean, Tiger Woods was touted as a boy wonder, and look what he did when he became an adult. Look, LeBron James, he was already being followed when he was still in high school. And he did become the number one pick, and he did, become the most dominant force in basketball since Michael Jordan. So in the U.S., there's a premium in sports. In countries like the Philippines and maybe, I don't know, like Indonesia or other countries, not really, unless you're in the PBA or unless you're in a particular sport that's the only one that people actually pay money to see in your respective country. So I feel bad for the athletes that do have that gift. And like, it's the same with the arts, man. Like if you are talented and you're artistic, what are you going to be? You're going to be performing at bars, earning peanuts. You're going to try to sell your paintings to people who will not even, give it a second look unless you have a very exotic name or whatever, or you're European or whatnot. So it's kind of like the ignored skills and talent of the world. And sports in some countries, that's the case. So I think the Olympics, you probably end up spending more. Certain countries end up spending more than earning. We're probably investing more than what we're getting back. But hopefully, we will get that elusive gold medal. And man, the last time I really kept count or kept track of it was when Onyok Velasco was robbed of the gold. This was like what? Iceman was probably still in grade school then or high school. I was in college, right? When was that, Ice? Onyok Velasco?
Was it at the same time when the Dream Team
early 90s
were playing?
No, it wasn't.
It was the same time when the Dream Team were actually playing, so that would have been 92. It could have been 96.
It wasn't. It was still the Dream Team, but it was, I think, maybe Dream Team 2. Like, it wasn't the first Dream Team, for sure.
Then it wasn't in elementary school. What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. I don't know how much younger you are than me.
I'm not your wife. Your wife's probably in elementary school, not me.
Thank God you're not my wife. I mean, if we were together, you'd be my husband, But yeah, case in point, that was the last time that it really mattered to me. I mean,
that was probably 96. That was around 96.
That probably 96. It definitely wasn't 92. I was still in the States during 92.
I think that was after Barcelona. I remember watching it, and I think he got the silver. Did he get the silver?
He got the silver, but most people say it was robbed. I don't know if it was just I was looking at it through like Pinoy lenses, and I was just like saying, no way, Onyok won that, but he didn't. But I think that was one of the closest that we've ever gotten to like getting a gold medal. And I don't even know anymore. Like And if you do get a gold medal, I hope you
Did
do.
he ever
It's
fight
pro-
professionally? Did he win
Oh
something
no,
like
he never did.
IBF or WBA?
No, he never did.
IBC?
No, he never did. His weight class, he was just too small, man. He was just too small, and I think if he had
So he did the
decided to go
Olympics,
up,
came
but
back, became a comedian, and that was it.
yeah, became a comedian. That was it. That was it. That was basically it. Became a comedian. You know, he like I said, dude, that's what happens. Like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was an Olympian and became pound for pound, you know, in boxing, best in boxing. Evander Holyfield was a Olympian.
Manny Pacquiao didn't go to the Olympics.
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao didn't go to the Olympics. That's true. So, like I said, like coming
worked
from a
in
Filipino's
construction.
exactly coming from a Filipino's perspective,
Sleeping on a
you
street.
know, I don't really see the point of the Olympics anymore. But I guess, like I said, the dominant countries continue to dominate, and countries like us struggling to get a gold will still continue to hope and wish that we'll get a gold. So my take is much respect to the athletes, much respect to the committee, and I have not lost hope. If we are still participating and it's still ongoing, then let's, I guess, continue to do that till we get our gold, and just say that we at least won one gold in the lifetime of the Olympics. And you know, but I don't think it is as relevant. I don't think it really showcases the top athletes necessarily of every sport. Because like I said, the top athletes usually go pro and do it for the money, no longer do it for their country. So yeah, I don't know what kind of competition it is. And where did it originate from? Did it originate from Rome? Is that
Probably from the Greeks.
Yeah, did you do the research and actually did any of us actually wiki Olympics and try to find out like
So I think
Greece?
it's the Greeks.
Okay,
who
Raj
started it.
said Raj is a historian. He said Greece. What?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
it's from the Greeks.
that's why it's called Mount Olympus. That's why it's called Olympics. It's named
Yeah.
after Olympus, which is the home of the gods. So, all right. So,
the first Olympics were held.
okay, that was where it was first held. So I told you, my
Yeah.
son is a historian. So, okay, what about you, Ice? What's your? I mean, I'm kind of like, you know, like I support the athletes, for their struggles, because that is their gift, man. I mean, you know, what if that is the only thing that you're very good at? You need something to at least aim for or try to achieve. And
I don't know,
sadly, you
benefits-
know,
Who benefits from the Olympics?
well, supposedly, if collectively, I guess it's bragging rights. At the end of the day, it is, you know, like it's
Right,
just
but in
um,
totality, like yeah, you know, the athletes, they're one of the
they get paid.
what
They
do you
get
call
paid.
this? Yeah, they
the
get
medal.
paid, but depends because they don't really get paid that much. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're coming
No,
from
they
a third
don't. They
world
don't.
country,
They don't.
you don't get
I
that
don't think they
first
do.
class
No.
accommodation. I don't know if you're coming from, you know, developed countries, what kind of accommodation you get and what kind of support you get from your government. But as
Yeah.
far as I know, from the Philippines, it just sucks. You know,
We just
Like,
don't. We
even
just
with-
don't have that budget. I mean, you know, that's the thing. It's just not a priority, like I said, and I would understand
Oh.
why. I mean,
but even
if you're in a
even
third world
like, all
country,
right, okay,
sports will be
so
a priority.
let's not talk about the developed country, the third world countries or the developing countries. Let's talk about the host countries. I mean, do they
Japan.
really get something out of it? Like, for example, Brazil. They had the Olympics, but
tourism?
then after that, no, tourism is just
Tourism?
like they end up spending more, and after
They
that,
do.
everything just goes
They
to
do.
waste. You know what I'm saying? The
They
big
do. They do.
stadiums, the big swimming pools, and whatnot, and nobody really benefits from it. And you know, these
Um,
countries are driven into debt, and I don't know, like it's more of a liability in the long run.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've seen some documentaries and stuff, so I'm like, all right, so the money
point?
that was spent to, you know, like to build these stadiums, all these other stuff for the Olympics, they could have used it for other things like education or health or whatever. Yeah, I mean,
agree.
I see it
I
that
agree.
way, but well, I don't know.
I
I mean,
I mean, it's okay. Just look at it this way. I don't want to compare it to the Miss Universe because I
right.
think it has more significance than. Well, I'm not also saying that
well,
the
Miss
Miss Universe.
Universe, you only,
has no
you
significance
only,
because-
you only put them in a hotel. Then you have this like really big whatever, you know, like you put them somewhere to do the event, and that's it. Dude, you have to
Yeah.
make an Olympic village for crying out loud.
Yeah, I agree.
You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
And it's just the expense is crazy. But like I said, I mean, even just the Asian games, even just the Southeast Asian games, if you become the host country, you're gonna have to have the budget. But what I'm trying to say here is, it's like, I mean, if you take that away, though, it kind of like, what about those athletes? What about those people who, you know, shine as athletes? And I think like in the US, you know, if they excelled in basketball or football or whatever, they can go to NFL, they can go to NBA, they can go to NHL if you're good in hockey, they can go to Major League if you're good in baseball. That's their dream. Not very many actually say, okay, I'm doing this to be an Olympic athlete. But in countries like ourselves, where the only, I guess, sport that would be financially, you know, at least worth investing all that time to train yourself in that sport and be good at is basketball, which is like PBA. And that's it. So what about those who were like triathletes in college or in high school? What do they have to aim for? What is the pinnacle of their sport, of their skills and their talent? If the Olympics wasn't there, well, yeah, they do Southeast Asian, they do Asian games. But I mean, even then, those are still kind of looked at as like lower tier, obviously, than the Olympics. The dream is to be an Olympian and I think the Olympics itself, the main show there are probably like the 100-meter dash, the discus throw, the javelin, whatever, all that stuff, the stuff that doesn't really translate to professional sports. Because I mean, like after those guys do it, like there is no professional equivalent to the 100-meter dash, right? There is no professional equivalent to synchronized swimming. There is no professional league for discus throwing or javelin throw, whatever. Yeah. I mean, I don't like. Can you imagine there are people that actually train themselves from? But like I said, I don't know why. Shot put. You see, because you have to think a lot of these events, and I don't want to just say sport, but events in the Olympics. A lot of these, they're just going to be dominated by very few countries. Because I mean, like, just physically, like, unless you're Phil Am or something, like, who is this guy, this Pinoy guy who had like big muscles and ended up dating this like starlet or Pinoy singer, and he's kind of like half, and he became like a triathlete. And I don't think he made it to the Olympics, but I don't know if he ever became I don't know if he became an actor or something. But I remember this guy during the 90s. You'd also see him in showbiz news, and he was like this guy who was like the hope of the Philippines, to participate in the Olympics. And nothing happened to that guy. I mean, Lydia De Vega, how far did she go? How far did Lydia De Vega go?
Asian Games?
Was it Asian Games? Did she
I
even
have no
like?
idea. I don't follow these things. I don't follow these things.
So when you say Olympics,
even now that Japan is hosting it, my wife's like, "Oh, let's watch it." I'm like, "No, I don't want to watch it. Why would I want to watch it? I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Why would I want to waste my time there?"
Let's go back to your point. Like, what benefits does the host country get if they can? They could spend that budget on education or housing or insurance or health, whatever. Why would they spend it on or invest it on an event like the Olympics when at the end of the day, what really does it bring in? If it's not tourism, like you said, because especially now, it's COVID, people are not really flocking to Japan to watch the Olympics. And I don't know how many people are hardcore, get in line and pay money to watch athletes that they've never heard of do things that they won't really see as mainstream sports. Unless you're a relative or you're a diehard patriot. And it's a form of patriotism, I guess, if you support your country. But let's be honest, like I said, a lot of the events in the Olympics, it's unfair to the other countries with smaller people, with less, we don't have the physical gifts or attributes.
That's why I don't follow it, because I'm pretty sure the people on top would always be, it has always been Russia, America, Germany,
China,
all these countries, Australia, China.
Yeah,
the bigger countries, the developed countries. The countries with more budget for their athletes and whatnot.
Exactly.
So I don't follow it,
and they have the physical. They have the physical gifts. They have the physical gifts.
Fight Spence. I'm more excited. In the upcoming fight of Manny Pacquiao. I'm like, he's 42, and I'm like, oh my god. I mean, can he still pull it off? I mean, yeah, that too. I mean, I don't want him to get hurt. You know what? I don't agree with his politics and whatnot. There are so many things that he said that I think that was stupid. But as an athlete, as a boxer, I'm his biggest fan. I mean, I love that guy. He brought a lot of honor to the country. He put us on the map. That guy.
And
he's
he did.
Like
he absolutely
tiny
did.
Little man. He's a tiny little man who fought giants and knock
from
them out.
not the biggest city in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like he wasn't even like a Manila boy. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I get you, man. Like I said, the Olympics probably got a big boost when the NBA players decided, why can't we play? You know, so they opted to play. The NBA players all of a sudden now want to add a gold medal to their collection of trophies and whatnot.
Yeah, I hope
So
they
that's a
lose.
thing. But not every professional athlete in the US wants to join the Olympics to prove something. Like the boxers,
Right.
surely not. Mayweather's not fighting amateur because that's amateur rules. It's different. You're not knocking people
Yeah,
out there.
but he's
You're
fighting.
just like
But he's fighting non-boxers.
he's fighting Olympic style
That is
too.
so funny.
And he's fighting Olympic style too. Mayweather's always fought that way. It's always been like, like don't touch me. I touch you.
Yeah.
Don't touch
Right.
me. He's
Let's run.
yeah, it's always been
All right, let's
yeah,
run around the
exactly.
ring.
Exactly.
All
He's
right.
always he
This
never
is
he never
defense.
got out of the
This
he never got out of
defense.
the Olympian I don't even think he won a gold. I don't think it was a gold. I don't think he won a gold. I know De La Hoya did. That's why it's called the Golden Boy. De La Hoya won a gold
Yeah.
in the Olympics. That's why it's called the Golden Boy. But the point being is, if a country like Japan or China, where they had the what's that called? That big thing, the nest. What's that called?
have no idea.
That thing
What are
in
you
China
talking
that they built. It looked like a nest, but it was like the Olympic dome thing that they made in China. It became
Right.
very popular. It looked like a beehive or something. Not
Like I
beehive, but
told you,
like
I
a
don't
nest.
follow the Olympics. All right, let's call
It's
it the
like
Olympic
it's like
nest.
yeah, it's like a structure that kind of looks like a nest. It's huge. I forgot what it's called, but so they spent a lot of money on that. And in Japan, I'm sure they spent a lot of money on whatever it is that they're
Right.
housing.
I mean, to
most
be
of the
fair
events
with
in.
Japan has always been getting gold and whatnot. So they're one of those countries: China, Japan,
Yeah.
Germany, America. Like but then like all these other countries that are like,
I know.
what are you
Why do we
doing
even bother?
there?
Why do
Yeah,
we
what
even bother?
to go there? You're not gonna
We're just
win.
gonna get our ass kicked.
Yeah.
Look at the bottom of the list. It's like Vietnam, Philippines. Okay, people are saying these guys, they don't have any, like, they're not like patriotic or whatever. We are patriotic. That's why we don't want to see our athletes lose. And it's not even that they're not good. It's just that sometimes it's just a different league because first and foremost, they have the budget. Next,
Right.
they're physical
They have the
specimens
support.
crying
They have
out
the
loud.
support.
And people
The
will
people
say,
back
what
home,
about
or at least the people in charge of developing these athletes, they don't care. They care about their
Yeah.
pockets. They don't care about the athletes. That's why we're like, don't
Yeah.
bother, man. I mean, I know that. That's why. Have you heard of that chess player who became American and now he's kicking
Mhm.
ass? And
Yeah,
he's been, like giving America or
Yeah.
the U.S. Really,
forgot-
really great.
I forgot his last
honor.
name or his name. Last name.
I think
Um,
Chinese sounding name, right? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he's
I know
Filipino
what you're saying.
Chinese. So yeah, because he was just like frustrated because the support
There's also
is
this tennis player girl.
not there.
Tennis player girl. There's also
so
the
he just
golfer
moved to
girl.
America and now he's American and now he's kicking
Yeah.
ass. So
No, but
I would advise
but-
athletes who are from the Philippines,
Yeah.
like, if you have a chance to go to America, just go there. I would
Yeah, but-
still cheer for you. 'Cause
But you have to
to me,
understand.
you're still Filipino.
But
But
dude,
then
you have
you're
to
representing
understand.
America. I don't care. It's fine.
It's not just those. I mean, you have to understand. That's the same case with Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao's always had the talent and the skill, but it wasn't until he trained with Freddie Roach, went to Wildcard Gym, went to the U.S., signed and got ripped off by Murad Muhammad and those guys, and later on with Bob Arum.
Yeah,
whatever.
but the thing,
That was the only
but the
time he made a
thing,
name
though-
for himself.
but the
If he
thing,
did not
though-
go to the U.S. and he wasn't a
But the thing,
surprise
though, he was
replacement,
turned down by 3 major promotions, and that
He
Muhammad
was.
guy was the only
'Cause-
one who took him in.
yes,
So
because he
I
was
think
too
it's-
small.
in
Like
a way,
nobody
yeah,
thought he was exciting enough.
Yeah, that is true. So yeah, and like to come to think about it, like he ripped him off, but at least that gave him a chance to fight and be discovered eventually. So after
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
Top Rank got it. Like still, I mean,
Wait,
now he's
which
making a lot of
I agree. I agree because the reason being is it's not because he became necessarily like a better athlete. Yeah, he was trained with he was given
The
he
support was
leveled
there.
up his training. It's a support leveled up, but I think also the promotion itself and the venue and all that stuff. And he rose to the challenge. And I think a lot of the Filipinos who come from here go to the U.S. Mabalibuan, like all of a sudden, whoa, we don't have venues like this in the Philippines. We don't have media coverage like this. We don't have promotions like this. We don't have accommodations like this. So they get caught up in that. They get stage fright and they don't get to fight. But Pacquiao embraces that stuff. He loves to absorb that stuff. So
No,
he
he
was never
smiles all the time. He
smiles all
smiles.
the time.
He signs
I mean-
everything.
Exactly. So
right?
yeah, he rose to the challenge. But you have to understand, like countries like the Philippines, like Vietnam, like Thailand's okay. They have football. They love football. They have Muay Thai. They couldn't care less if they don't succeed in anything else. But the Philippines, we have basketball. That's our only goal is to be able to qualify in the FIBA and all that stuff. So that's kind of like our goal now. We're not even like thinking about anything else. And if anything, the only kind of waves that I think we're making in close to the Olympics are the female weightlifters, if I'm not mistaken, the female powerlifters. I think we have a couple of female powerlifters who, and that's a niche event. So if at their weight class with the weight limit that they can carry, we probably have a chance at that. But like I said, you have to think about the countries.
How
These
many
countries
delegates
like
do we have
us.
for the Olympics? Do we have
I do not
delegates for the
know.
Olympics?
I don't
Let's
know.
see. Right.
Dude, I remember when I was in the US and they have the Olympic march, the opening. You have all these countries and their delegates marching, right? And I
Mhm.
remember I would be like watching the Olympics with maybe my dad, or when I was staying with my aunt.
All right. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
And we'd
We
be
have the
waiting
weight,
for the Philippine flag, right?
right? Yeah, and there were
Wait.
like 2 people walking.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're the only ones that got that far. So
I think we have a few. We have weightlifters Diaz and Elrin
boxers,
Ando.
I think. Do we have a
And
boxer?
Elrin Ando, that's a Japanese name. That's a Japanese
Yeah.
last name. All
It
right,
is,
you'll be
yeah.
you'll be what will be you'll be mistaken for a Japanese when you compete.
Yeah, because
Ando,
she's
Ando-san.
Yeah, and she'll be competing in Japan, so they'll be cheering for her.
Right,
The
yeah,
Japanese will be
yeah,
cheering for her.
surely. Then the
Yeah.
Philippine boxing
I mean-
team. How many people in the Philippine boxing team?
That I don't know.
Then we have rower Chris Nievares. Aren't you supposed to be like in a team if you're like in rowing, or is it like like I don't know? Like, do you know anything about?
Oh, it's
rowing?
just one guy. It's just one
Yeah,
guy.
I know. Like I've seen rowing, but it's like it's sort of a team.
Yeah, it has to be a
see them
team.
in a group.
Yeah.
So if you're rowing by yourself, it's kind of like, is there a
No.
singles
I
in
mean,
rowing?
Yeah, maybe because I think the one we're talking about is the Dragon Boat and the rowing team, like in Ivy League schools, they have that. But I don't know if there's a rowing that's just one guy and it's actually a competition. Like I said, they're introducing new stuff in Olympics all the time. Skateboarding is in the Olympics.
Hey,
Billiard's still not.
What's tanking? Because there's like tankers Luke Gebbie and Remedy Rule and shooter Hyson Valdez have arrived in Tokyo. So what's a tanker?
Okay.
What's a tanking event?
Dude, I don't know.
What do you mean when you say tanker?
I don't know. But I know
Julian
shooting is
Narciso
obviously.
Rodriguez, do you know? Yeah, probably it's like the shooting, all right?
Yeah. Dude, help us out. We're kind of noobs in the Olympics here, and I don't even know what we're talking
we
about.
have Taekwondo. I know Taekwondo, yeah.
Yeah, Taekwondo. We're decent at
Barbosa.
that. But
all right.
So you have countries like Iran, of course,
right.
South Korea. Those guys, man. Those are they rule Taekwondo. They have longer legs, but we're not here to discourage. We're just here to kind of like, kind of discuss the relevance of the Olympics. I mean, especially the younger generation out there. How many of the younger generation out there are actually pursuing sports? And if you are, how many of you are actually saying to yourself, I'm going to be an Olympian someday? I'm going to get the Philippines' first gold medal someday. I don't know. I think a lot of you are wearing your LeBrons and your Kobe's and your CP3s and your KDs and saying, I'm going to play the PBA or I'm going to pretend that I'm in the NBA. But I mean, like I said, we don't even know what new events are in the Olympics and what events were taken out, because some events were taken out and are no longer. I mean, there's curling, I think, is an Olympic event. And curling
is there bowling in the Olympics? Is bowling an event in the Olympics? Is it?
I don't even know anymore, dude. Like I said, like I don't even know anymore. Like I said,
I remember watching the
I
Olympics during the Dream Team. Yeah, I was watching it because the Dream Team was there. I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch him. I'm gonna watch this team.
Okay.
They're gonna like kick ass, and they did.
The last time,
and after that, I stopped watching.
I said the last time the Olympics was relevant to me was, like I said, when Onyok Velasco was robbed of supposedly the first gold medel when we lost to my God, I even remember the guy. I think the guy's like from Ukraine.
Like a passive what a passive what's the term? What a passive what
event?
Passive fan of the Olympics? Well,
Yeah.
like, because I don't really care about it. Like, okay, if they're on TV and somebody from my family's watching it, I'd be like, all right, I'll, like, I'll take a look for a few minutes. Then
Yeah.
I'd split. I never like intentionally would go and like, all right, let's watch the Olympics. I would not check the schedule
Yeah.
like, oh, tonight at 8 p.m. it's going to be rowing.
Unless
Hey, who cares about
you have
rowing? I
like
don't like
unless
rowing.
you have a relative there, dude.
I
Unless you have a
know. Yeah,
relative.
I
you
have a
know?
relative, of
That's-
course. I don't
Yeah,
even
that's
care if
what
I
I'm saying.
understand a sport. I mean, just my cousin's playing. What sport? I don't know. I'm just watching.
Or
I don't
hold
understand a
on,
sport.
Ice.
I'm gonna watch it.
Maybe we're not the audience for it. Maybe Pinky's not on the show because she's watching it now. We don't know. Maybe there are
Probably,
hardcore Pinoys out there who follow the Olympics. I personally don't,
Get
and
out of
it's
it.
not
What do you
it's
out
not a
of it?
knock
Like,
on the athletes. It's just, I mean,
okay, for example,
wake me up when we
boxing.
get the gold,
All
right?
right, boxing. Nobody gets knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So why are you watching it? I mean, all right, okay, they're running around trying to hit someone, then run around, try to hit someone again. So it's not even exciting. It's not even exciting
Yeah.
boxing. Why would you care to
Yeah.
watch that, right?
It's
I mean, nobody gets
it's
knocked out there.
technical. It's very technical. I mean, like
Yeah.
if you compare, okay, if you compare like a UFC fight to like a taekwondo competition, when you watch a taekwondo match, like 8 or 9 times out of 10, the guy you're thinking is winning is actually behind on points. Because you'd be surprised, like he does all these kicks and stuff, and you'd be surprised like how many of those actually counted, like made clean contact in the areas that have points. Like I think it's 2 here, it's 1 here, or whatever. And if you watch UFC, it's crystal clear whose butt is getting kicked and who's doing the ass kicking. But if you watch, like I said, the Olympics, it's like, I mean, that's probably one trivia game thing category I would certainly lose in. Like if you ask me, okay, who won in the 1996 Olympics in bobsledding? I'd probably say the Jamaican bobsled team or something, just because that's the only one that I know. I mean, it's because of a movie. And the movie was Cool Runnings. And the song was, what was the song?
I don't know.
You
I
remember
don't
the
even know
song?
what bobsledding is.
It's a Jamaican bobsled team. They won and they won and they made a movie out of it, and it was called Cool Runnings. And it had a song. I'm not sure if it was "Don't Worry, Be Happy," but there was a song that was popular that coincided with Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows, it's because I mean it's very unlikely that a Jamaican team would win in bobsledding, which is usually associated with winter countries. It's like it's actually like an amusement park ride, dude. It's like almost like a slide. And there's like a 4-man or 3-man team, and they have to kind of make themselves as aerodynamic
Olympics?
as possible. It's in the Olympics. They have to make
That's
themselves
what people
aerodynamic.
spend for. They train for that.
Dude, you have to understand. The Olympics has a summer and winter Olympics. In this part of the world, we don't give a hoot about the Winter Olympics. The skiing, the snowboarding, all that crap. We don't care about that. We don't follow that stuff. So we're oblivious to it. But obviously the Summer Olympics.
Okay, what are the sports that interest you in the Olympics? All right, okay, I must admit, swimming, yeah, all right, that's cool.
Oh, basketball, probably.
Tennis, basketball, yeah. And I'm only watching it because I want the NBA Dream Team to lose.
Swimming
remember when Argentina beat their asses? I was like so happy.
Yeah.
I was like, Argentina. I'm like, yeah, you
dude. Nigeria beat them
lock
twice.
It up, US.
But it was supposedly just like, an
exhibition game. I know. I want them to lose like in the real thing.
I mean, yeah, if you want to watch it to root for the other team to win, I mean, that's your thing. I mean, I don't necessarily
I want to watch it. I want Australia to win this time.
I don't even like I said, what's the draw? See, that's the question here. Like, okay, what's the draw?
I'm an underdog.
Like you said, countries invest to host not only to host the Olympics, right? They invest a lot in their athletes.
I don't even understand why whoever invented the Olympics. Okay, the Greeks. I don't even know why they started this one. Why the heck did they start it?
Okay. Like I said, I mean, during World War, man, World War II, the Olympics pushed through. Hitler attended the Olympics. I mean, there were black athletes competing there, and I think the reason for me, at least back then, the reason why the Olympics hold such significance, at least in history,
it goes without saying, the Olympic Committee always their way. Even
it's bragging rights. It's kind of bragging rights.
The Olympic Committee, man. I think they're the one responsible for for these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you say like, oh yeah, even during war, like the World War, Hitler attended it. The Olympics pushed through. So you know what I'm saying? So the Olympic Committee, they have this clout.
Yeah.
Whatever the situation is of the world, they want their Olympics to happen.
Well, I
They're
don't
like
think it was
brats.
full blown. I don't think it was full blown yet.
We need the
I mean,
Olympics.
It's the
I don't
pandemic.
think it was
Olympics.
Dude,
Olympics,
dude,
please.
To be honest, my knowledge of that actual situation where that guy attended it, and it's very limited, but I know he attended one of the Olympics.
No.
And I don't think the war was
He
full
did
blown
attend.
yet. I think he was like the chancellor, but I don't think he was like, I don't think they were shooting rockets at each other.
No, like they were already
yeah.
like in a
I know
very
there
bad
was conflict
at that
already.
time.
I know there was conflict
Right.
already.
So
Yeah,
he did attend. But all I'm saying is like
He did.
now it occurred to me because John Oliver did a piece about the Olympics because John Oliver was saying, well, it's really true. Like the Japanese people don't want it. Even the government doesn't want it. All right. And the people around the world don't want it because of the pandemic. So who wants it to happen? I think it's the Olympic Committee. They're like always pushing for it. Like, no, you have to do it. Like, okay, Japan was asking, like, can we, like just postpone it again for about a year? And
Just
they were
skip
like, no,
it
you
this
have to do it
year.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Olympic Committee is like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. They're like little brats. Like,
I want the Olympics to happen now. We want the Olympics.
right, like during war,
Olympics.
pandemic,
Olympics.
end of the world.
Olympics.
God.
Yeah. I'm triggered.
I mean,
I'm triggered.
No. I get your point, man. I mean, like I'm asking myself the same question, but maybe we're not the target market for it. But like I said, this is not about the athletes. Much respect to the athletes. I'm just as frustrated as the athletes because, like I said, we unfortunately, I mean, we're fortunate to be blessed with talents and skills and physical attributes or whatever. Like the athletes are blessed with the stamina, the skills, the muscle coordination and all that to excel in sports. I know I'm gifted in drawing and being creative and being artistic because like I draw pretty well and I've never had formal training and I'm pretty good at drawing and it's easy for me to do. But unfortunately, these talents, these whatever, they don't translate to like a financially rewarding career, especially here in the Philippines. Everybody's a freaking artist here. Everybody's a freaking athlete here. But if you take this person out and maybe, like Efren Bata Reyes, I mean, if he didn't compete against what was he competing with? Those American guys that he competed with. What's that guy's name? Peter
Strickland.
North. Oh, Strickland. Not Peter North.
We're not talking about porn, Rod. We're not talking about porn. Why are you inserting porn in the conversation?
because I mean, was it Rod Strickland? Was it? Oh, yeah. I know. I like it. See, that's why the Olympics is ongoing because of the merch. People want the merch.
I didn't
People
want
want the
this.
merch.
My wife bought this. My wife went to
I don't know. Okay, who is the
Tokyo
official
last
sponsor of
week,
the
and
Olympics?
She got me this.
It's probably
No,
not
dude,
Nike, but who's the official?
They would like. I think everybody withdrew. Like they
Really?
canceled their. Yeah, well, that's what I heard
Sponsors?
from my wife. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Toyota. Like all these big companies were like, no, we're not attending it. I don't know if they actually canceled their sponsorship because these things are insured, right? So they don't really lose money. Like the people who renovated their places, those who put up like hotels and whatnot, they're probably going to lose money. But the people who organize these things and like if you don't get the ads and whatnot, these things are insured, so they're getting
There's a
money
budget.
anyway.
There's already a
Yeah,
budget.
so-
Yeah, there's
There's an
yeah.
insurance for these things, so it doesn't matter if things just go south because they're still getting their money.
Okay,
But those
okay,
people
see,
who
okay.
were like, all right, I'm gonna make a hotel. I'm just gonna renovate my house and like put it up for like Airbnb. Like because there will be a lot of people coming over. You're not gonna get your money back because
yeah,
you're not part of the like
You're
the
not.
big
Well-
the big machineries.
Let me ask you. I mean, we can all agree that the Olympics has lost a lot of its glory from the olden days. I mean, I remember watching
gonna lose
reruns
sex,
of
though.
Olympic events. Yeah,
They're gonna lose sex
What?
because there's a lot of sex during the Olympics, and this is true. Now, or at least this time around, they were not allowed to distribute condoms to the athletes because like to discourage sex and whatnot. So yeah, and probably the
Yeah.
bed thing too is true. So all right, no sex.
made of
wow.
cardboard.
What a
Who
letdown for
needs
the
cardboard?
athletes, yeah?
Who needs cardboard when you have a wall? All right, come on, people. Have you ever heard of Pangkai? You know. Anyways,
Who needs a
yeah,
wall when you have a grass?
yeah, but the wall is, you don't get all itchy and stuff afterwards.
All right, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Right? Because your snake might be bitten by another snake, a real one.
A two-eyed
Cut the
snake.
grass.
A two-eyed snake, not a one-eyed snake.
Naman luwa. But all right, so why do we always end up talking about that stuff? This is supposed to be a tighter, more, I don't know, like. Anyways, see, every time we go over 20 minutes or 50 minutes, it just all goes to hell. But anyways,
It's exciting
my
to watch
take is okay.
sports, especially basketball.
Yeah, but we're talking about NBA, Maribeth. I mean, are you talking about NBA? Because when you watch Olympics,
But
yeah,
now you know
basketball's
Olympics. All right.
basketball's exciting because why
I
would basketball
know.
be exciting? Because there are NBA players there. Like you have the Gasol brothers playing for Spain. You have Luka playing for Slovenia. So you have Manu Ginobili playing for Argentina, at least back then. So there are familiar names. But if these guys decide not to participate, and these were strictly just the amateur, ranks or collegiate teams, it's not good. It's not exciting to watch sports with people we don't know.
That's true.
That's why
All right.
they glorify
okay, it's
athletes.
It's Eldon. Nope. It's nope.
Okay, but let me ask you this: so why do you think the glory of the Olympics has faded through the years? Because I mean, like I said, I remember back then, I used to watch here in the Philippines. I was a kid growing up. They would always show old reruns of old Olympic events and call it
Here's the thing,
ABC's
back then,
Wide
This
World of
is my
Sport.
take. This
Why
is
do
my
you think
take.
that?
All right. This is just
Why
my
do you
take.
think the Olympics has lost its
It
glory?
has faded eventually because now there's so many distractions. You know what I'm saying?
TikTok.
Back then, there wasn't really anything on TV, right?
Yeah.
The Olympics is on, like everybody would be like, "Oh, it's the Olympics now, dude." You have games, you have the internet, you have all sorts of shows, you have all these
Lolo Gaming. You have Lolo Gaming.
you have the Lolo Gaming and whatnot. You have Facebook. There's just so much content in the world, man. There's just so much things to do.
Yeah.
That's why, like before,
mean-
people get married early. This has nothing to do with the Olympics, but it's the same thing.
They were just
People
bored.
like, let's just
They
get
were
married.
bored.
Because,
They were
because they're bored. Like, oh, there's nothing to do. Let's just get married. Let's have 5 kids. All right, let's just
Absolutely.
complicate our lives. That's what
Okay,
so it's the
well,
same thing.
say-
So now
Hold that
It's-
thought for another topic, okay? Hope we can
Right.
go back to that
So
thought of
now
yours
it's
about
the Olympics is all right. Let's watch the Olympics because there's nothing really out there. All right, but now you can do anything. Like you have a phone in your hand, and you will not run out of things to
Okay.
think about or to do or to watch.
So it's not the Olympics'
to
fault.
read.
It's not the fault of the Olympics. Like
No,
it's not
I
that
think
they're
it's just the
lacking in
time.
promotion. It's not that they're
No, I
lacking
think
in.
it's just. I think they're even using social media because they're like those people who just like I'm in the Olympics. I'm just gonna take a pic. They're gonna take selfies and whatnot. They're not really there for the Olympics. They don't like sports for crying out loud. They're just there to be like I'm
These are
here
Exactly, just for the
to show off
viral
or
whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they just want to be there to be seen. They don't even like
Yeah.
it. They don't even understand a sport. They don't even play sports themselves. What the heck? Why are
Yeah.
you there? I don't know any sport you play. I don't even
Because they have
play
a
sports.
relative competing.
No, I'm
Okay.
not. No, there are people there who just go there to just have a picture of the whatever you call that, the Olympic, like logo. They just like,
Yeah.
all right. Case in point, my wife went there. Like, Olympics. She went to the stadium, whatever. She took pictures and whatnot, but she doesn't even play any sport. You know what I'm saying?
I have to admit, Ice. I have to admit, when I was a kid growing up, I always thought the athletes who were competing in the Olympics were the best athletes in their respective sporting events. Like I thought, because
Yeah,
I mean,
you cared. You cared
the
for
truth be
it
told,
because because at that time, there's nothing to occupy your mind. There's, you know what I'm saying? So just, all right,
no.
Olympics,
Were they?
sports.
But were they? Were they like back then? Were they like okay? I remember watching Carl Lewis going up against.
I don't even know who the guy is.
Ben Johnson. Okay, Carl Lewis.
Ben
I think
Johnson
held the
I heard of.
record. Ben Johnson's
Is he the singer of
Canadian.
the I will always love you?
No, 100-meter
Ben
dash. He's from Canada. Do you remember
that's a different
FloJo?
Johnson. All right, okay.
Florence Griffith Joyner. Do you remember her? She's this running woman. But anyways, I remember Carl Lewis and Ben Johnson, they were like two of the fat, like Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt, dude, there is no professional
I know
running
that
league
guy.
where go Usain. No, Usain Bolt is known because of his, like, that's an Olympic thing, right? The 100-meter dash, the fastest man in the world. I don't think there's a
Right.
faster guy. I mean, maybe there is, but he, you know,
They
he's
call
probably
him
in
here
Africa. We don't know where he
Borto.
is.
Hussein Borto.
Yeah. So Usain Bolt, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, he's a celebrity. Okay, name me some Olympic celebrities. Usain Bolt.
That Phelps guy.
Jeez. Michael
That
Phelps.
Phelps guy.
Michael Phelps. Like eight
Right.
times gold medal swimming.
Akiko
Oh my
Thompson.
God. She's not Olympics, man. She's just a Filipino. What a
SEA Games.
Asian Games,
SEA
maybe.
Games.
SEA Games. Akika Thompson. You almost
Could be
got me
SEA
there,
Games.
but no. Mary Lou something, the gymnastics girl, which Redden, whatever, from the States.
Mhm.
Lugakis, Mark Gukaki, something, the springboard diver who hit his head. Did you see that? And they found out he had HIV, so it became an issue because he hit his head and there was blood all over the pool. And you know, like I think after that he tested positive for HIV. So I mean, like you know, but I don't think you can get HIV from blood with chlorinated water. Like I said, I'm not the authority in this. I'm not my word is not the gospel. You can Google yourself to get the real facts. I'm talking from clouded memory here. Okay, so how many? Savon. Remember Savon? Something Savon? This Cuban boxer was
I remember
undefeated.
All right, okay. I remember shampoo. Not Savon.
No,
Dude, I
there's
told
this
you I can
guy.
follow these things.
There's because Cuba, dude, ruled amateur boxing for so long. Like Cubans, but unfortunately, they end up, defecting from Cuba when they're like 50. So they can't like compete anymore in the US as professionals because they've exhausted all their physical might. And, as amateurs fighting in the Olympics for Cuba, And this Savon guy was touted as like better than Tyson, better than Holyfield, Muhammad Ali, whatever. But his prime years were spent just competing in the Olympics, which is only once every 4 years, and ended up just got old. And I don't know if he defected eventually, but like I said, that's the thing. That's the thing with the Olympics. It's like there are not very many Olympian celebrities as compared to like professional sports, where you have Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, you have all these Babe Ruth, Watani, all these guys, because they're getting paid a lot of money
Ichiro.
and they are promoted well. They have a marketing, department that takes care of them, being marketed. But the Olympics, you're representing the country. Like your name isn't even relevant. So, but it's hard to root for our athletes. Like I said, when we're always the kulelats, we know what's gonna happen. I mean, wake me up when we get a gold medal. All right. But I'm not gonna like watch every single event and hope like, the Chinese athlete trips or the American like stumbles, or all of a sudden hikain yung Russian, and for some reason the Philippines wins. Right.
It's the only time
that's
when we
the only time
adapt,
we'll ever.
or
What?
no, like no, it's the only time when like just like we're watching the Olympics, and that's the
Yeah.
only time I think that we try to adopt a new country, because we're always like rooting for another country. Like for example, if we're watching a particular event or like a particular sport, and we're like, oh, I'm rooting for Argentina, or I'm rooting for Russia or Germany.
What's your substitute
like-
country? Japan, obviously. Japan now, right?
No, like I
mean,
told
if
you,
not
like
Philippines,
Japan has been home for me for the last 14 years now, and it's my second home now.
Mhm.
Like every time kids ask me here, what's your favorite country? I would always say like, well, Philippines and Japan. I like Japan as much as I like the Philippines because I've been living
Yeah.
here for more than a decade now, almost 2 decades now, or a decade and a
Yeah.
half. But the thing is, there's just so much this country has to offer, and like watching these athletes, like getting gold. Like I remember we were having like a summer camp, and all of a sudden they cut it. Like we were doing something, and they have to like cut it a little bit short. I don't know. They just interrupted it to make an announcement that somebody from Gifu, where I am right now, like Gifu Prefecture, that somebody from Gifu, I think, bagged the silver medal or the gold medal for swimming.
Okay.
There are like a lot of events, in swimming. So one particular swimming event that she bagged. It could be silver or gold medal, and everybody's just like and they're like really happy because we're in Gifu, and like
Yeah, it's
that
a
girl was
small
from Gifu.
part. Yeah, yeah.
It's
But okay,
so
how's does Japan fare generally in the Olympics? I mean,
well,
is
they
it
always like get medals and stuff. Like they don't really like. I don't think they've been number one, but they're always like in
like
the top 10.
in
I
what
think.
events? Usually in what events?
Well, athletics. I think swimming. They're good at swimming. Athletics, weightlifting as well. They're good at that. Um, I don't know. They just have like really good
But
support.
do you know any celebrity Olympian who's Japanese?
Well, they always distribute those like things like during the Olympics and after the Olympics. We have a booklet, and like so it's just unbelievable. Like just in Gifu, we have so many people who are in the Olympics. Like now in the Tokyo Olympics, we have like lots of people who are in the Olympics, and
Yeah.
like at least they like they either work here or they were born here or they're from here. So
Do you know any of them? Like, I mean, like by name,
no,
by
I don't know.
memory?
I can't read it. It's like all in kanji. So it's like they're all there. Somebody explained it to me. It's like, oh, these are all the athletes who are from Gifu, who's representing us to the
Yeah.
Olympics. So that's just Gifu alone. So I think, yeah, Japan has been like pretty much supportive to their athletes. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're one of those countries, like Germany, the US. They always have that like, chance to develop and a chance to actually win something in the
Yeah.
Olympics or in international competition. They don't get shorthanded. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah,
shortchanged.
yeah.
I mean, like in the
Yeah.
Philippines, we get shortchanged a lot. Like nobody takes care of you. Supposed to be
Yeah.
you're going to have this really nice accommodation, but they kind of like cut it off. They cut the budget.
Yeah.
They put it in their pockets and like whatever. You're not gonna win anyway. So what's the point?
It's not a priority. Yeah, it's not a priority. That's the main thing there. It's not a priority. Because like I said, only PBA players are the ones that probably can say they make a good living out of playing sports. I mean, can't think of another sport here where like the ASCALs for a while kind of exploded and football scene in the Philippines kind of blew up, but like where is it now? I mean, like if not for the Young Husband brothers coming here from the UK, we wouldn't even probably know guys like Chifi Caligtong unless we are hardcore, but just as they became heartthrobs and, they were pretty decent football players and they looked good doing it. They bought fame to, and volleyball too kind of took off, with all these, like the Ateneo Eagles, the Lady Eagles, and their
Yeah,
rivalry
we have a
with
lot of. I
LaSalle.
think the Santiago sisters are here playing professionally in the Philippines, in Japan. So
Yeah, but
now,
like, so volleyball.
yeah, and they're getting like
So
I think they're offering Jaja Santiago a chance to be a Japanese to represent the country. I think that's in the works.
okay,
Like, oh,
so the volleyball that she plays is what? There's a professional volleyball league there that people watch on TV and to root for,
yeah.
or
It's a
okay.
they have professional league here for volleyball. They have
Um,
they have a pretty good team internationally. Like their volleyball team is really strong, and I think that's why they want
okay.
they're trying to talk to her and they're trying to naturalize her if she's open to the idea, so that she can represent Japan. She can be one of the like members of the Japan volleyball
So
team.
there are many Japanese volleyball teams that compete in a volleyball league there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or
there's like
or there's a
Saitama,
league.
there's like Yokohama, there's like all
Oh
from all
wow! So
prefectures.
it's kind of like
So there's-
football. So kind of like football, right?
Yeah. So volleyball's popular here.
Okay.
Basketball too. Like if you noticed, I
Yes,
think
basketball
more and
is
more people
popular in
wants to
Japan.
come to come to, like a lot of PBA players want to come to Japan now and play.
Yeah. Yes.
And
yes.
the PBA
I
is
think
like
some
trying to block
NBA
them.
players did play in Japan.
So
Some
I
NBA
think
players did
it's
play in
kind of cool
Japan.
here. If they get a chance to live
Yeah.
here and play here professionally, that would be nice for them.
Yeah, but the Philippines, what's like I said, what's your only option besides basketball if you want to pursue your athletic dreams? If you were born without, I mean, not without, but if you were born with advantages in
Right.
physical,
Always bear in mind, there's always Lolo Gaming. That's not going away. They can always resort to that Lolo Gaming.
that
If Lolo
that
can
does
make
not-
it, anybody can make it.
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's all. I don't know if that's luck or I don't even know how that works because we've been doing this for a while and we're that guy has beaten us by like he's way ahead. I mean, Lolo Gaming, the OK Show's got nothing on Lolo Gaming.
Okay, hang on.
You know what I'm
Are
saying?
you a good gamer? If you're a good gamer, why not just do that? Maybe, you'd do better there.
Yeah, dude, but when I play, I'm like cursing 90% of the time. I'm not like
Well,
I'm
maybe
not like
people will like
talking
it.
like this.
Maybe people will like it.
But I don't want to have that.
Gusto kay mamalikas. Sige lang pamuisit. Puisit! Putang, puisit!
Punyeta! Paul na po, rep.
Puisit! Puisit!
Punyemas.
Puisit! Sige lang pamuisit.
Look, that's the thing. It's like if I'm playing video games, like if I'm playing, yeah, you know what? I've thought about that, but like I said, like I don't want to insult the intelligence of my viewers. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I can play a game and be talking about relevance.
You always talk about like I don't want to insult their intelligence, dude. People don't want that. They just want something, to
I know.
without thinking.
Intelligence doesn't sell anymore. It's so true. It like if there's anything that doesn't sell in social media or in the internet or like that doesn't get any views, it's like relevant information. Like all people want is like the news. And here's the thing too. Like if you watch the news, right? You watch the news. Like normal local news or international news. They always during the opening monologue or whatever, the tease, they'll always tell you all this stuff like showbiz, like, naghiwalaya na, Derek Ramsey at Elena Darna, hiwalaya na. Ano kayang rason? But they never tell you that in the opening. They save that at the end because they know that everybody's going to stick around and watch all the boring crap about our GNP, about our economy, about our foreign investments and all that crap that people really couldn't care less about, to find out what the reason was sa hiwalayan ni Derek Ramsey and Elena Darna. By the way, they did not hiwalay. I just said that as an example. All right. So because people are not interested in the relevant, important, significant stuff. People want the stupid stuff. So but I don't know with us though. Like if we do stupid stuff, you think will give us like more viewers? We're talking about the Olympics here. We're not in the right path, my friend. We should be talking about naked.
We should have like tricked people, Like alamin kung sino talaga ang naging girlfriend ni Aljur.
Exactly.
Kung sino talaga, right? Then at the end of the show, it's like, inaalam pa lang. Hanggang ngayon, inaalam pa
our
namin.
topic.
Hanggang
And I
ngayon,
can be Michael and I can be Michael Fatin. At tunay na girlfriend ni Aljur, yun na nga. I mean, we should have topics like Maginoo or medyo bastos, right? That should be the choice. Would a woman prefer Maginoo or medyo bastos? Right? That would,
We
Olympics,
can have that tomorrow. We can have that tomorrow.
Come on.
We can have that tomorrow.
Maginoo or medyo bastos?
Maginoo or medyo bastos?
Mabait
Bakit pa
or
medyo?
manyakis?
Maginoo or talagang bastos? Medyo mo pa eh. It's either bastos o hindi bastos. Walang medyo sa bastos.
Mayaman or macho? Like we should have choices like that. I mean, people are like, that's what people want. They don't want this Olympic stuff. People, you know what? If anything,
you answered your question. See, you answered your own question.
If anything, what
you should
this
have told
episode
me
is like,
when I suggested the topic, like Olympics, dope or not, like, dude, no, Maginoo or bastos. Let's go for that.
Dude,
Dax or Jutes.
anything,
See these things. Dax or Jutes. Dax or Jutes. That makes more sense. We're good at that. Okay. You know what? Let's pick topics like that.
Let's be stupid, man. Let's be stupid. Okay, all right. Let's have topics like that. Let's forget all this, like intelligent crap. People don't need that crap. Let's stoop to their level. They want that game. Gusto nyo ganyan? Sige.
Sige.
We can play
Dax or Jutes. Dax or Jutes.
Tuli or pisot. Whatever. All right? It doesn't matter.
Right? Tuli or pisot. Yeah?
Yeah.
Balbon or makinis. Right? These are, right? See, you're laughing, but it makes sense. I mean, I always hear my dad saying like, kanao balbon. So like,
Bubsi pero sapyot.
Exactly, boobs or butts. Like,
or boobs or butts. That's okay. There you go. What is the Olympics crap? If anything, this episode has accomplished is that to let people know that the Olympics is actually going on. People are probably going, huh? Olympics na pala? May Olympics na pala eh. I mean, that's exactly what this episode is. I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there are
of course, Jepoy, the only people who are tuli are either Jews or Filipinos. All the other nationalities in the world, like all the other countries, they're all pisot. Japan, they're all pisot.
Trust Iceman. He's tried them all. He's tried them all.
We're the only one who's tuli. Like you go to Canada, like they're pisot. Like you know what, my brother asked about that. No. Like
Yeah.
because he's got a son, yeah. So when he asked a
Yeah.
doctor about it, the doctor was like,
Oh my god! I can't
Why
believe
you-
we're talking about this. I thought we were
why
talking
you
about
ask?
Olympics.
All right. And it's just like we're drifting anyway. So it's just
Okay,
like,
go ahead.
yeah, right. Okay. So that's what he said. Like, oh, can I, have that procedure for my son? He was like, wow, is it a medical thing? Does he need it? Like, what's the point? Like, why are you having this? And I'm like, all right, because you can't have it. And does your son want it? Because like you can't have, like here in the Philippines, it's a common thing. Like, oh, if you have a son and if you decide to like have him circumcised,
Go ahead.
as an infant, it's fine. But in America, you
People
can't.
pressure
Because no,
you. Yeah.
it has to be like the person's decision. And
Yeah.
even like in Canada, it's like being discouraged. Like, no, if you don't need it, you don't need it. You don't need to be circumcised. It's not needed.
Yeah.
So me, I'm
Yeah.
like, what? We don't need it? Why the heck did I go through it if I don't
Yeah.
need it? What the heck?
Well, you know why? Two
But
words.
it's culture, yeah? What?
2 words. Tick tick.
Okay,
It's probably
what's the
technically one
English?
word.
What's
It's
the
probably
English?
technically one-
What's the English for tick tick? All right. You
Take.
lived in America. take. Dude, you lived in America. You were there in your teen years. Come on, you should
You know
know
what it
about
is?
this.
You know what English of
What?
Dick crusties. I don't know what it
Dick
is, dude.
crusties?
Dude, I don't
Penis
know.
crusties.
You think I go around talking to my American classmates? Hey, bro, you got some take there. What the heck's a take, Rod? I don't know. Let's check the dictionary. Dude, I don't know. I mean, come up with something. Well, what's muta in English? Eye
Crusties, yeah?
crusties.
Eye
Yeah.
crusties.
Or Morning Star. I don't know. My mom used to call it Morning Star. So my mom would call it. Dried tears? I don't know what it is. I mean,
Penis dirt.
anyway. Penis
Dick
dirt.
dirt. It's just like a libag, yeah? What's libag actually? It's like, yeah, that's
Dude, I told you, man, the Olympics topic is not gonna sell. We might as well have started with a speaking tuli thing in the begin with. Tuli. Ladies,
Because
may
I think
difference
it's
ba?
like
Tuli or
libag,
supot?
so- See, dirt on skin dirt. So yeah, it's penis dirt or dick dirt. That's like, see,
What? What, you
'Cause
actually
libag-
Googled it?
see, yeah, because libag is in English the dirt on the skin or skin dirt. So if you think about it,
Yeah,
like
but,
tick tick is like
but
it looks like a libag, like the tick tick.
libag is dark, right? In it? Is tick dark?
Yeah, but well, the color is different, but they look the same. I think the texture is the same.
I wouldn't know, man. I was never, like, I was circumcised
You
at
never
birth.
touch your. Really?
I was
You're
circumcised at birth.
Oh,
I was.
Come on, baloney. Baloney.
I
You never had
was
tick tick in your life?
circumcised. No, I was circumcised at birth. You can ask my mom. You can message her on Facebook if you want. I don't know whose decision it was, my dad's or my mom's. That's why I can't relate to my son. Like, I was looking at his thing and it's like, what the heck's going on here? It looks like he has 4 balls. And my wife's like, babe, normal. Yeah. And I'm like, that does not look normal. Why does he have 4 balls? And my wife's like, that's the thing, nangamatis. Because my son just got circumcised like a week ago or a couple of days ago. Like
Yeah.
several days ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, what does he look like that? And my wife had to like Google image it just to show to me, like to make me believe, because I was like freaking out. I was like, are you sure that's not infected? Are you sure they didn't screw it up? Like, whatever. Are you sure that's not malpractice? Because like I said, I've
No,
never
what do you-
experienced it.
What? It's normal.
I was circumcised
Mine
at
was like
birth,
really
so-
big. It was like really big. It was really painful.
So it like you had like 4 balls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, like your balls in the back. Yeah, like these two that look
Yeah,
like
balls in yeah, like behind behind the dick and like in front of the dick. It's just like too much balls right there. Too much ball action
dude. You know what? I apologize to people who just tuned in now thinking we're talking about
for
the
the
Olympics,
Olympics.
and they're like hearing dick and all this stuff. I'm like, well,
Kabukan dua, uy,
yeah, you know,
Olympics.
we have a limit. See, that's what happens when you go to war unprepared without a weapon, and that's what we did. We're talking about the Olympics, and we didn't do our research. So all we can say
No,
is like
because
it's unrelatable. Like it's not a big deal anymore. But we can't really
yeah,
give
because
details about it. Like why
no,
it
because
declined, what sport. We don't even know what events
the
are
only
in the
people who
Olympics.
like the Olympics are the ones who have relatives in it, or the ones who
Or
have
or you come from a
um
country that dominates it, or the host country. Like the people who live in the
probably
host
yeah.
country.
I
Yeah,
mean, who
yeah.
cares about the Olympics? I never cared for the Olympics ever. Yeah, except for
Okay.
that time when the Dream Team played in the Olympics, and that was the time that I was just
Okay.
like
What
watching it
about Miss
live.
Universe? What about Miss Universe? When
I
people
don't
when
I no, it's
no,
pitiful
no,
for
when
me. Like, I don't watch
Filipinos
Miss
watch Miss
Universe.
Universe, when Filipinos watch Miss Universe, they watch even when the top 10 doesn't have a Miss Philippines in it, or the top 5 doesn't have Miss Philippines in it anymore, right? I think Filipinos still watch because a lot of Filipinos will still kind of root for the
You know
prettier one,
why?
like the prettiest
No, no,
one.
no, no, because they're waiting who gets to win. And then
I
they'd be
know.
like, ah, guwapa pa man ang Philippines. Sana.
Yeah.
That's they're waiting for that moment. It's like, see, oh, it's luto.
No,
It's
no, no,
luto.
no, no. But I think
Mas
but
guwapa
I
pa si
think
kung ana.
the Miss Universe beauty pageant is like probably the only competition I know of where the Filipinos can actually be humble. Like we actually take ownership of like we're not like if the Filipina candidate like isn't as pretty as some of the candidates, like I think a lot of Filipinos out there are actually honest about it. They actually say, and in fact, to the point where it's kind of harsh. Like someone will say, "Ay, hindi naman maganda yung napiling candidate natin, or ang pangit ng sagot, ganyan ganyan." You know, we're supportive if she's hot and if she's smart and she has that like you know, Pia Wurtzbach and what's her name, the last one,
Catriona?
Catriona. We were super supportive because they were oozing with confidence, all that stuff. But trust me, the last two, or the two after, I don't even remember their names.
In Japan, like
Do you?
they don't really care about
Do you
the Miss
remember that?
Universe.
Okay, who was the candidate of the Philippines before Pia Wurtzbach?
I have no idea. Like I
See,
told
who
you,
was the candidate of the
I don't
Philippines
like these things as well.
after Catriona Gray?
I have no idea.
We don't know. You see,
I
what I'm
didn't even
saying? It's like,
know. I
we're
didn't
not
even know about
consistent.
Catriona Gray and Pia Wurtzbach not until they became Miss Universe. Because I don't watch
But
these things. Like I told you, I don't watch these things.
you don't know Catriona Gray, but you know Sasha Gray. You see, that just goes to
Yeah.
show you. You know.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, I get something out of it. Yeah, at least.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Anyways, so we're past an hour. Tomorrow, what is it?
Right.
We're not doing the Tuloy episode, right? Tomorrow we're doing Magino or
Medyo
Medyo
Bastos.
Bastos. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's gonna be a good argument. That's gonna be a
Magino or
better
Medyo
discussion.
Bastos. You two didn't, especially the guys too. Like I'm pretty sure like Jepoy is not Medyo, like he's probably Bastos, right? Is he?
Yeah.
Or is he
Jeff, no,
Magino?
you know what? Depends. If he's with like a lady, I don't know, because he's had ladies like be smitten by him, like, oh, Jeff Boy's like, you know, because he knows how to be like feminine,
So he
kuno,
can
and
be
ladies
alright,
trust
so
him.
he can be
The
Magino.
ladies trust him. He's like he can be like he can pretend like he's like effeminate, you know, and ladies like kind of fall for that crap. Like,
Right. Okay.
so
No, I'm
few
not
ladies
what?
trust
No, I'm
him,
not what? I'm not
but
Bastos or I'm not Magino. Which one is it, Jepoy? No,
but he's
tomorrow.
also
Tomorrow.
been
Answer it tomorrow.
yeah.
Tomorrow.
Answer
Don't
tomorrow.
answer
Answer
now.
tomorrow.
Answer tomorrow.
Answer
Not
tomorrow.
not tonight. Not
Yeah,
tonight. Don't
because
answer
I
now.
will also answer like from my perspective tomorrow. I will also tell you which
You're
approach I've had
Bastos.
more success with, which side
Yeah.
I've had more success with, my Magino side or my kind of Medyo Bastos side, because I think most of us have that both sides for the guys. I mean, you know, most of
All
us
right.
kind of
All right.
I'm not saying everybody's Bastos, but I'm just saying. And also we can have a topic eventually for a girl now. You know, like what choices do we have with girls? And with girls, it's always like sexy or smart, you know, or pretty or smart. So, what about personality wise? What are
Okay.
two
Okay. All right. Okay.
contrasting
So tomorrow we're talking
for
about
ladies?
for ladies, Magino or Medyo Bastos, and for guys,
Yes.
Pretty
What's
or
for
Smart.
guys? Is that what
For
it is?
guys, yeah, Pretty or Smart.
Because
Pretty-
Magino or
pretty or rich.
Magino or Medyo Bastos, those are like personalities. Like those are
Right.
attitude. Those are like, it's not physical. And we say
Right.
pretty or smart. That's usually, well, obviously smart is not physical, but like pretty. So is there like a personality, contrasting personalities that ladies have that a lot of men usually end up having to
Pakipot or
choose from?
game? Pakipot or game?
Yan!
Pakipot or
perfect.
game?
Yes. Yan.
You see
There you
how
go.
I got him excited? You see how I got him
Yes.
excited? Pakipot or game? Yes! Yan! Mm.
You got me sprung. My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. You can do side bends or sit-ups, but please don't lose that butt.
I
Oh,
just-
baby,
I
I want to
just
get
made
with
Rod
ya and
come.
take your
I just
picture.
made him come. He just himself. Ugh, yeah, you got it.
Yes.
Ah.
Dude, what are we talking about this stuff? It's too early for that. All right, anyways, so tomorrow.
So it
We'll talk
starts
about-
9 p.m. 9 p.m. Japan or
Okay.
9 p.m. Philippines?
No,
9 p.m.
here's the
Philippines, yeah?
thing, though. It's what if we don't have a good turnout? So we're wasting 2 good episodes in one.
No,
one
no.
episode.
I'm gonna write. I'm gonna do the
Don't,
write-up.
no.
Right,
What I'm
right.
saying is, don't you want to divide it? Like maybe don't you just want to do the Magino or Medyo Bastos tomorrow,
Alright,
and then
okay,
like
let's do
we'll
Magino.
save the what's the one? Game
Pakipot or
Pakipot or
game?
game. Oh
Right, okay.
man,
Pakipot or game
because I want to build up our female audience, so I think Magino or Medyo Bastos muna tomorrow.
tomorrow. Right,
'Cause
then
that's-
we'll do
that's-
Pakipot or game. All right.
Yes,
that's cool. I'm
Pakipot
cool
or
with
game.
it.
We can do Pakipot or game on Monday maybe, because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't think Pinky wants to be a part of any of that talk when it comes
All
to
right,
like
okay, then
Pakipot
that
or
would be
game.
cool.
You
That would
know,
be cool.
'cause
So Magino or
we're
Medyo
wait-
Bastos?
yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna talk about Magino or Medyo Bastos for the ladies.
If
Like,
somebody says like, I want sobrang
both.
bastos, and I'd be like, I'm your guy, man. I'm your guy. Sobrang bastos, here I am.
I want sobrang bastos. You know what I do? I'm like, ano, gusto mas bastos pa? Magbastusan tayo. Di man yan bastos. Oy, rude man yan.
I said
not that kind of bastos.
Hindi damak or hugawan.
Hindi walang pinag-aralan. Sinabi mo sana manyakis. Be clear. Be clear, dear. Get to the point. All right. Now, anyways,
All right,
You know,
that's
so
happening
tomorrow-
tomorrow. That's happening tomorrow. So
tomorrow.
I'm gonna do the write-up. All right, I'm gonna do the write-up tonight.
Magino
Right.
or Medyo Bastos.
Medyo Bastos.
Just
All right.
keep it simple. That's it. Magino or Medyo Bastos. Like, don't put any
All
more
right,
long
so
like,
Olympics,
narrative.
ladies and gentlemen, nope. That's a nope. At least
For
me,
you?
that's a nope. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a
don't like-
pandemic, so it should be a nope. Naturally, it's supposed
yeah.
to be.
Wake
nope.
me up when we win a gold medal. But like I
Right,
said,
know, yeah. Who cares?
I don't want to sound hypocritical. Like support the athletes. It's not about the athletes, all right? This is really not about the
I'm rooting
athletes.
for Australia
I know
and
how much they're
Nigeria to
investing,
beat
yeah.
the US in basketball. I really hope they make it. I really hope they beat the US.
Yeah, it's about time the little countries win. You know, come on.
I know.
They should at least. They should. I think there should be a okay. Here's my suggestion. Okay, to I think make the Olympics relevant again, and have the other countries that have like sort of lost touch or don't care anymore about the Olympics, like us, the Philippines. I
Mhm.
think they should have a limit. Like if a certain country has won or accumulated these number of gold medals, they should at least not be able to enter anymore for like, give chance to others. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, which is kind of, I know people will say, well, that sucks because what if, they have a new batch of athletes, but they're always just going to keep getting better. They're always going to keep getting better. That's like saying, okay, that's like comparing countries that have more like money or comparing a country, like which country is the wealthiest, which it kind of translates to that, at the same time. Like I said, if you have the money, even if you don't have the athletes, you can afford to purchase the athletes from other countries to represent your country, right?
Right.
Am I right? I mean, but if you're
think so.
a broke ass country, come on, you can't even afford a real treadmill. I mean, you think these people are going to be able to hone their physical gifts? It's not happening. Manny Pacquiao needed wild card and Freddie Roach to push him to his optimum level, and same with our athletes. We just don't have. We just don't have the the facilities, and it's not part of our. It's PE for us is like, what's PE? What was PE for us? I don't even know what PE is here, because I didn't go to like. Did you have PE in high school?
Yes, cultural dance.
That was
Tinikling.
PE.
No,
That's
we
PE?
had those. Of course not. We had sports, but then you also have these things as well, like the cultural dance and
Yeah.
whatever. I think it's part of PE.
All right. Oh, anyways, before we jump ship, I know they're not watching. I would just like to greet my in-laws, Mama Merla and Papa Edwin. Happy anniversary! Celebrate your
Happy
anniversary today.
anniversary, Silver.
I'm stuck at
25 years?
home. No, 30 something already.
30
My
something.
wife's 37, so 38
It's
years.
more
being
than
together.
silver, so it's almost gold now.
Almost gold. So I'm stuck here with my son, Jago, and my wifey. They're over at my in-laws'
Almost
place.
gold.
So,
Alright.
but you know what? To be together for 38 years, and I think the greatest accomplishment is raising those 4 kids. The 3 brothers
Right.
of my wifey and my wifey, because they're really good kids. And when people say the children are a reflection of the parents, I'm really worried about Raj. What people will think about me, but because I mean,
No, why would you
'cause,
worry about it? I mean, it's your kid.
it's a good topic. That's a good topic.
It's your kid.
Are
me,
the
I'm not
kids a
worried 'cause it's
reflection
my
of the
kid.
parents?
I think
Okay,
they are.
That's a question.
Snow
that's good.
yesterday
No,
we went
I
to
mean-
Toyama and she was just like saying bullshit the whole day. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. You're bullshit, Papa. I'm like, Snow, can you stop saying that? Like, no, bullshit,
You know,
bullshit.
You
She
never
says
know.
bullshit. Oh my
You,
god.
we
She's
don't know.
me.
Maybe 20 years later, my son and your daughter will have a talk show doing this.
Probably, yeah.
And they'll call it
I'm
the
not
Buisit
kidding. She was
show.
saying
They call
yeah,
it the
she was saying
Buisit-
bullshit
they
the
call
whole
it
day yesterday.
They call it the Buisit show.
Oh my god,
You know what?
man.
We should have
And
called,
you know me,
we should
right?
have called this
That's
the
my
Buisit-
expression. That's my expression. We're like
Yeah, I
off the
know,
air,
yeah,
like
yeah.
we're like,
Yeah,
I always say that. And probably she
Or-
got that, and now she's saying it all the time.
Yeah,
I hope
you
she's
have
not
another
saying it in
expression.
school.
You have another expression that the first time I heard this word was from you. Merece. That's the first time I
yeah,
heard
yeah.
that word was from you. Merece. Yeah, and I'm like, I had to ask my wife what that
Merece.
meant. I think it's Spanish. Is it Spanish? I think it's a
Probably.
Spanish word, isn't it? I think
I
it's a
assume
Spanish
it
word.
is.
But I asked my wife, I was like, wait, what's merece? And she said something about like gaba or something. Is that what it
Yeah,
is that what it is?
yeah.
Yeah, it said something like that.
You
Yeah,
deserve it.
because I've never heard of that word. Like the words I grew up with was like puñeta, puñemas, anak ng weteng. That's my dad's expression.
Anak ng
Like the
weteng.
Filipino words, anak ng weteng. My mom's like puñeta, puñemas. That- oh,
Yeah,
shoot.
all right, yeah.
Is that like a really bad word I'm saying here? Because I mean, I grew up
It's just
like,
those.
like I didn't even understand what they
criticism. It's
meant.
not-
but I think if you search it, it's a
I
really
don't
bad
think
word.
it's that bad. I don't know. Like me, like see, I don't really care if she
I didn't mean to
says it at
curse,
home.
but
I always tell her like you can say that to me as long like all you want, it's fine. Don't say it outside the house. Don't. I hope you're not
Yeah.
saying it in school. That's what I told her. All right, I can let it
Yeah.
slide if it's just if you're just using it around the house
yeah,
and addressed to me, that's fine.
yeah.
Because I am
Yeah.
that way to my dad, but I never did that to other people. I would never
Yeah.
be disrespectful to. Other
I've never heard the word PI spoken in my house. I never grew up with like PI and
Now, my mom never says that,
GAGO,
but we always
like,
say that because
but-
of friends and stuff.
but puñes, yeah, I hear that a lot, which I think probably
We're
means
like
the
foul
same
mouth.
thing.
I think you have a friend who's like foul mouth, yeah. Like like
I
all
have
my
a lot
friends are
of
foul
friends.
mouth too.
I
Like
have
we're
a lot
just
of
all
friends.
foul
And
mouth.
they're-
Like
And when
Eric's
they're
like foul mouth.
together, when they have family get-togethers, and I have dinner with them, or we get invited to their house, like the uncle, like when that's how they greet each other.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's the same
and
with my
these are like
family, yeah.
rich. These are rich, affluent families,
exactly,
but they
yeah.
talk like that. Like
Yeah.
whoa, like
So it's the same thing. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
come from a family like that. Like everybody's just cursing or whatever, and it's not a big deal. So
Yeah, it's not
their
a big deal.
families
It's
are
not a
like
big deal.
really, really anal about this. Like, don't. say
it
that,
only
it's
comes
bad
out when
words.
they're mad.
Yeah, but it's like no,
that's when
like every time you talk about something, it's always like, oh, like you've seen a basketball game, somebody did really good, and you say like curse
Yeah.
words like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
come from
I
a
get
family
what you
like
mean.
that. So
So it's not like when people are like when certain families curse or whatever. It's not necessarily because they're mad. I mean, when my dad says "anak ng weteng," it's like when our favorite team loses. Like I would hear him say that.
it's not
Sometimes he
even-
bets on.
That's not. That's not even a
Anak ng
curse.
weteng, you know. Like
That's
I don't even
like
know.
an
I don't even know
expression.
what that means. And I found out that weteng is like gambling. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. Child of a gambler.
I think when
Anak
we
ng
were little kids,
weteng?
my dad tried to like, control us in a way. Like, why would you say
There's
that?
even-
Like, don't say that.
Ah.
But then when we were like already old, like university age, I don't think
Ah,
he cared.
That's a
It was
good
just like,
topic.
whatever.
List this down. You know, words or expressions commonly used you heard often used in your household. Or mga salitang
Push it.
bahay.
Push
Like
it.
anak ng tipaklong. Anak ng tipaklong. What the heck does
Oh,
that
that's
mean?
too wholesome.
Anak ng
That's too
tipaklong.
wholesome.
Wait, so
That's
that's
too
also
wholesome.
tipaklong, right? Why don't you say tipaklong? Is there a specific name for an anak ng tipaklong? Because like if it's a bear, it's a cub, right? If it's like a kangaroo, it's a joey. If it's a goat, it's a billy. But I mean, a tipaklong, what do you call an anak ng tipaklong? Is there even a specific word for it? It's still a
Shot
tipaklong, right?
paraigat. Does that count?
Yeah.
Shot paraigat.
I mean, I've never heard my parents say that.
Shot para maui.
Probably your brothers. No, there's even one. It's like, tumagal na sa suso, wag lang sa baso. I have friends who say that, like we were drinking, like drink all at Pops. And sometimes, we're down our last bottles and like we tagay-tagay na. It's like, pare, tumagal ka na sa suso, wag lang sa baso. I'm like, siyat paraigat. But I don't know what anak ng tipaklong means, man. So we can have that as a topic. All right.
All right. Okay. It's
Stuff
been
you
an
hear
hour
in
now.
house. Stuff
An
you
hour
hear in
and
the
a half.
house.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow it's Magino or medyo bastos. All right. I'm still
Yes.
recovering
So
from the trip
9 p.m.
yesterday,
That's
so-
9 p.m. Right, 9 p.m.
All right.
9
Thank-
p.m.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you again tomorrow
Thank
with
you.
Pinky, of course.
Yes.
And right. Okay. I'm gonna ask Reese. She already ordered the helmet, so it should be
Oh, cool.
it should be coming very soon. All right.
So,
So
she'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
because I was like, I asked her, like, did you already order? Like, yeah, I already ordered. Like, I didn't ask her when it would arrive, but it should
Don't worry
be
about
coming
it, man.
soon.
Just give her my number or just tell her to message or just come to
Right.
the house. Like we're always at home.
All right. Okay. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow,
Thank you.
guys.
All right.
All
Bye, guys.
right. So good night. This has been us. My name is Iceman,
Rod Rodriguez.
and we are out. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everyone.